Welcome back, everyone, and we're late in free agency here. We're just a couple weeks away from the NFL draft. But we did have a pretty big move take place late this afternoon. The Jets reaching terms on a 2-year deal with free agent running back Chris Johnson. Chris Johnson let go by the Titans a couple weeks ago. From Chris Johnson's standpoint here, before I get to the signing from a Jets standpoint, for Chris Johnson, I'm sure he would have liked the market to be a little bit more expansive for his services. He gets a 2-year deal at 28 years of age. The financial terms aren't yet released. I would highly doubt this deal is worth more than $5 to $6 million a year. He gets another payday here before he turns 30 years old. We'll see if he's able to continue the consistent production he's had, right? He's had over 1,000 yards the last 5 years and hasn't missed a game in the last 5 years. And to be honest, guys like that are usually not available this late in free agency. Certainly he's not the CJ2K from his 2,000-yard season, but he's still certainly a more than serviceable 1A or 1B type back in a running back tandem like the Jets will have joining him with Chris Ivory and Bilal Powell. So from Chris Johnson's standpoint, I'm sure his agent and him explored every option, and this is the best option he can get. From a Jets standpoint, look, the Jets needed a complement. They need playmakers, okay? With the addition of Chris Johnson, with the addition of Eric Decker, with the addition of guys like Jacoby Ford. These are playmakers that I know are not at the upper echelon of the league, but they're certainly better than the playmakers the Jets had last year, and they're headed in the right direction as far as that standpoint goes, but they still need to add. And, you know, the Jets get a guy this late in free agency who, again, for a running back to not miss a game in 5 years this day and age and to go over 1,000 yards every year, there's something to be said for that. I know his yards per carry has dipped here to under 4 last year as a member of the Titans, but again, as a 1A or a 1B in a running back tandem, I think you could certainly do much worse than Chris Johnson. And he also gives them that big playability, something they've sorely lacked here, especially last year. If you want to see how Geno Smith can develop, you need to at least give him a shot. And I think Chris Johnson is another weapon to sort of add to that arsenal. And also he'll help Michael Vick if Michael Vick ends up being the starting quarterback there in New York. So from a Jets standpoint, I really don't see at 2 years, minimal money for a guy of his stature, how this could turn out to be a bad move. And, of course, from Chris Johnson's standpoint, obviously surveying the landscape and realizing this is probably the best deal he can get. I think the Jets need Chris Johnson, and I think Chris Johnson needs the Jets to sort of prove that at 28 years of age he can still do it, and maybe, who knows, get another contract similar to this at 30 years of age when most running backs are slowing down. Guys, that's my take on the signing of Chris Johnson. He's going to join Bilal Powell and Chris Ivory as sort of a running back trio there in New York. I like the move. I really don't see how there's much risk involved for the Jets at all. Hit me up in the comments. Hit me up on Twitter as well. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, guys. It's completely free. I'm starting my 7-round mock draft tonight, so be sure to check that out. Thanks as always for listening, and have a great night.